Welcome back. For this video is for the Family Circle Town Hall 10 Academy with Mercs, and this week we're going to go over some lalo attacks. I'm going to ask everybody to bring their own or favorite lalo composition. We're going to be attacking this base. Last week we were working on this base with Bowwitch. This week we're going to be doing lalo. Now I'm doing this video to quickly go over how to read or identify weaknesses or strengths of a base if you're going to be going with a lalo type army. You can either go with a wall wrecker with a kill squad and a wall wrecker to try to take down the queen, maybe an AD. Of course, you're going to need to take down the CC. Any other building after that is a plus: Inferno Tower, Wiz Tower, X-bows. So if you look, you could also try a queen walk with that composition, and of course a blimp. So ideally, or the first thing you should look at is your air defenses. Here is, I found the most accessible from the outside walls would be this southwest AD, and if you notice, it is within reach of the queen or a witch from one side, from this wall here, but not from this wall here. So it's only accessible from one side. This one is well protected, this one's well protected, and this one here on the north is outside of range of a witch or a queen. So you're really gonna have to go inside of the base. You're not gonna get away with a kill squad. You might, if maybe you wall break here and maybe come in with a wall wrecker right around here well, you could come in with a wall wrecker over here to try to get this AD, maybe the Inferno Tower, CC of course, and hopefully some of these wizard towers. If you're going to go that route, I would suggest some bigger kill squad to take out these structures here. But other than that, this one has an easy CC draw. If you don't want to go inside the walls, if you want to go maybe with a lot of hounds, 4 or 5 hounds, you might want to say, hey, you know what, that's an easy CC draw. I'm going to draw it from with maybe one balloon or something like that. You don't want to use ground because then you'll draw troops that don't attack air, and it's better to let those troops stay inside of the clan castle. So if you do a draw and you draw with a loon or something to only draw the air attacking troops, then you don't want to keep your heroes within range of that CC, so you're going to have to lure preferably to the opposite side, because if you come here, for example, they'll start walking this way. So keep that in mind. Maybe an archer out in this camp or something will lure the CC, and then you could do a little hero kill, maybe wall break here and reach for the queen. I mean, there's just so many options. Keep in mind the pathing of the loons. Once you do send your lalo portion, you're gonna have a sweeper here. That's the next thing you want to look at, and a sweeper here. So that tells me you could come in from this side, you could come in from this side, but preferably I'd like to, if you're going to do a kill squad, I'd like to either take out this portion of the base or this portion of the base. Why? Because then you could do a clockwise or counterclockwise the deployment. In this particular case, the sweepers are pointing in those directions, so if you come in from behind them, then you're going to be coming clockwise this way, whether you start here or whether you start here. You're going to be going clockwise. You're not going to go counterclockwise on this base. It's almost a ring base the way the defenses are set up, minus the Inferno Towers, of course, but everything else is, well outside of the core. Look at all these defenses, all outside the core. So you're most likely going to be better off going with a clockwise type of deployment, i.e. surgical loons. You could try spamming them because it is like a long rectangle, but keep in mind your loons will probably go off to the sides, mostly because of pathing from this AD, for example, where they're going to go next, sweeper, X-bow in this direction, same thing. The Inferno Tower is just a little bit out of reach. You might have a few loons go in that direction because if you overwhelm it with so many balloons, by the time you take down that AD, maybe some balloons took down the sweeper, and then a few balloons might go in the direction of the Inferno Tower. But even if that's the case, it's not going to be a lot of balloons, and there could be air bombs there. In this particular case, the red bombs would hurt you the most because it'll be a small pack of loons, and it'll soften the loons so that single Inferno Tower will take them down faster. So, what else have we got to figure out here? Our spells. We got to figure out how many spells, what kind of spells. If you decide not to take down the queen with your kill squad or heroes, that's fine. You could probably do a Skelly kill here, but keep in mind that there are 2 bomb towers in her area. But even more than that, what would make me more nervous is looking at the queen range. She's out of range of those ADs, so she's not going to follow a hound, which would put her right underneath it when the hound pops and the pups start to attack. Let's just say, for example, you come on this side first, hound pops, the queen will probably be standing somewhere between that archer tower and the gold mine. Some pups will be drawn to her, but not as many as you would want. You could drop a rage and a Skelly to help out, but it's a little bit higher risk versus if the queen was, I don't know, here, for example, by that gold storage. She'll be directly under a whole bunch of pups, and she'll go down really quickly. And in that scenario, you wouldn't even need a Skelly. Still, that's something to keep in mind. What kind of spells? Well, if you're going to go with a Skelly, you should have at least 1 rage. I don't know about you might want to do a freeze on the Inferno Tower so that your hounds will last a little bit longer on those AD. You may not. It just depends on your plan. Every plan is going to be different. You would probably need a heal if you don't take down those wizard towers. I would recommend a heal on that area just because they are out of range of those AD. So they're not going to be, hounds won't be able to tank them, so your loons will need to be healed in that spot. This wizard tower here is also out of range of that AD, but it's only 1 and it's easily accessible with 2-3 loons from the outside. So if you're going to do a surgical deployment, let's just say you start here, you're going to have loons pathing this way and then have 2-3 loons to distract this wizard tower so he doesn't hit your big pack of loons. This one here depends. If the hound comes in from west, then it'll be out of range. But if the hound comes in from the east, then most likely that wizard tower will be tanked by the hound. So that should not be a big problem. But if you have a couple loons just as a precaution, that's probably a good idea. And I would go on this base haste heavy. Don't forget, it's a good idea for the first 2, 3, 4, depending on the base, haste to be dropped preemptively, meaning pre-haste. You want to pre-haste. That way you have less things to worry about as you're deploying your loons. And that's about it. Trying to keep it short and sweet. If you guys have any questions, hit me up on the Town Hall 10 channel, and if not, well, then I'll see you guys on Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern, New York time.